Hi, so you've decided you want to play some tennis, all right? Welcome to the game. Let's start with some basics. There's a lot of advanced videos I've done, and it's very easy to get confused into what is good advice out there, what's bad advice, and where do I even begin, okay? So once you've got yourself into tennis, I'm gonna go over some real basics for our ground strokes. These are the shots we usually start with. These are the shots we're usually hitting in a real match, okay? At a beginner level, you're not really at the net that much. You're not bombing your serve. It's more about how do I get to be consistent, hit the ball in, and have fun, okay? So starting with the forehand, whether you're lefty or righty, this applies. Just figure out what side you want to be on if you're lefty or righty. So to begin here with my racket on the ground, I want you to think forehands, okay? The shot you'll probably be hitting more of or most of. As you pick up the racket, show your opponent, right, or your friend, your strings. All right, now you notice here, my wrist, elbow, and shoulder are all in line. What's not happening right here is my wrist is out to one side, all right? I don't want my wrist or elbow out to one side where my strings still face forwards. I'm right behind the racket comfortably, okay? And then I'm gonna be able to hit the ball here. So that's what I want you to focus on first. There's no real right or wrong with this. You can do small variations, but just be comfortable with that kind of a grip. So by the time you get your strings are facing forwards towards your target, not up, not down. So if they're facing down, the ball will go down, okay? A good visualization for consistency is, where does my palm face? If my palm faces forwards, my ball goes forwards. If my palm faces up, my strings face up, the ball goes up, okay? So you can practice around with that. If my palm faces up, it goes up. If my palm faces down, it goes down. Even starting with the ball in your hand, like I have today, is fine. Or if you're trying to hit over and rally, it's a little bit harder. But basically, in essence, you just need to move your feet. Be ready to position yourself in a way where you can move to get turned before you hit, have your racket back, and as you pull the racket through, you're contacting the ball out in front of your body, okay? So this is all the starting points of tennis. None of this is too advanced. You got to keep it simple when you begin, okay? So as you see the ball come to you, you're ready, okay? So you get your feet ready, moving into position where you're not too cramped up, not too far away. If you try and hit a few pretty hard, or even swing the racket at a speed where you can hear there's a little swoosh sound, all right, that the racket starts to make. If you go super fast, you can hear there's a swoosh. If you go slow, you won't hear it. So try and hear that for yourself. And as you get lined up, you'll feel with power, I want a certain amount of space. This won't feel physically as good. So have a real emphasis on how did one shot feel? Was it very effortless and it kind of just went the way you wanted? Or was it jammed up and you were very stiff having to muscle the ball? There is a difference, okay? So we want that nice effortless feeling like you're not even trying and you could just relax through the ball with an easy result. So now, your racket's back. If your racket's back early, you're ready to swing forwards and meet the ball. If you're not ready and the ball gets behind you, that's when we have to muscle it. So we don't want that. We want to avoid muscled shot. Swinging early where you can contact the ball out in front of you is the key. So if I'm moving, I've prepared my racket's back, and from here I want you to try and go a little bit low. Below the ball is going to mean you can hit it up and over the net. So you're creating like a rainbow shape. As the racket comes low, I'm coming up the back of the ball now, all right? Some players might mention topspin. This is how topspin is begun. So you're making the ball spin forwards and in. But even more basic than that, especially if you've never played before, is just hitting flat behind the ball and having your palm go towards your target. Start there. So you're going long forwards through the ball and going out towards your target, okay? That's enough to get you started on the forehand side, and you'll feel how consistent can you be? How much more do you want to do to try and create a little bit of extra power? Again, avoiding the muscled shot, try pulling the butt of the racket and then forwards through your shot. So you'll end up actually giving yourself a little hug as you finish your shot, as you hit the ball harder. Backhand's no different. The grip's slightly different, but basically try with two hands to begin. A one-handed backhand's a little bit harder to learn because you have to time the ball much more perfectly to get a good result and be consistent. So I'll usually start my players off with the two-hander. I'll do a one-handed video just for you guys, and the one-handed backhand in another video, sorry. But starting with two hands, as I'm hitting through the ball, you see the same cues. It's the same thing on the other side. It's just the opposite, right? It's a mirror image of my forehand, but with two hands. So as I'm lining it up, my racket's back. I'm side on. I've turned my body right so I can swing forwards. My racket's dropped a little bit. I'm hitting the ball out in front. and I'm finishing forwards. Where did I want my ball to go? It's just my left palm now, because I'm right-handed. My backhand, my left palm faces forwards. So I'm hitting forwards through the ball towards my target. So that's going to control my shot now. A good way to practice this is even hit a left-handed forehand. Choke up on the racket. Practice, where does my palm face? How does it get to go where I want? How open is it to make it go high? How closed is it to make it go lower? So play around with those variations. Now the main difference that people struggle with learning a backhand grip is, you see how I'm holding it now? It is sideways. You don't see my strings at all, okay? So this is what we call the hammer grip, or a continental grip. If you're side on with the racket, now that other hand comes flat behind the racket and you can relax and hit a backhand. There's a little bit of play with that bottom hand. Just basically get side on, show your opponent the side, and then whack the other hand on top. If you want to make small adjustments from there, that's fine, but the same technical cues apply. Your turn, racket's back, I'm hitting forwards and through the ball towards my target. Good luck.